Good morning and welcome to another session of the Truett Center's Newman Lumen Reflection Series on dreaming. First, let me say thank you to Allison and the folks in the Multi-Faith Center for inviting me to speak on this very interesting but yet, I would say, provocative topic of dreaming. For me, the significance and implications of dreaming is both personal but also public. And so my conversation with you this morning will advance along these two pathways, dreaming in both the realms of the personal and the public. Alan Hobson, in his 1988 seminal work, The Dreaming Brain, describes dreaming in the following way, and I quote, "It is mental activity occurring in sleep characterized by vivid sensory motor imagery that is experienced as waking reality, despite such distinctive cognitive features as impossibility or improbability of time, place, person, and actions. Emotions, especially fear, elation, and anger, predominate over sadness, shame, and guilt. And these emotions sometimes reach sufficient strength to cause awakening," end quote. So dreaming then, it seems, happens as an unconscious activity while we are asleep. Even though if you are like me, I daydream a lot, always engaging in some conscious exercise of thinking optimistically and in an aspirational way about something or some project or some experience that I have not yet achieved or attained. So dreaming is reflective, dreaming is inspirational, dreaming is spiritual, and it's also cultural. When you are dreaming, you have no limits, right? You can fly in your dreams. You can do all sorts of almost miraculous things. I submit to you that on a personal level, that you can use dreaming as a roadmap for purposeful and successful living, precisely because there are no limits in dreaming. As a member of the globally dispersed Africana people, dreaming is a blend of the spiritual and the physical realms, where dreams convey meanings or messages about one's present condition or their future. In Jamaica, where I grew up, dreams have immense weight and meaning in one's life. Quite early in my life, I dreamed of being an educator like my mother. Then I had dreams of being a lawyer. I even dreamed of being a politician, of being one of Jamaica's future prime ministers. You see, one thing that remained constant in my formative years is that I was always dreaming, wishing, aspiring, or having some inspiration to be a better version of myself. By the time I started my university education in Jamaica, my dream career was to be both a professor and a diplomat. Well, I suppose I got at least one part of that correct, the professor part. The point is, dreaming set me on a trajectory of public service in academia. I have been teaching and researching at this level since 2004, from the age of 22. When I completed my master's degree in political science, my dreams led me to ultimately pursue doctoral studies here in the United States, because I knew then that I could not and would not stop acquiring all the knowledge and training I could. There was no limit to my academic dreams. Dreaming has pushed me into other realms of public service, in the media. I worked as a radio talk show host on politics in Jamaica for 5 years of my life. I really enjoyed doing that. Also in government service as a violence prevention strategist and consultant. I guess what I'm saying is that dreaming can be a strategy for self-motivation, an inspiration to be better versions of ourselves. But dreaming beyond the personal influence also has a collective ethos, I think. It is a call to public action, and it can serve the purpose of pushing individuals and groups in society to work towards a more equitable and just society. Dreaming, I believe, or at least the optimistic self of me believes, that it can help to improve our shared human condition. You see, growing up in Jamaica, I always heard about the American dream. For me, and I suppose like many West Indians from the Caribbean, saw America as a land full of opportunities for all, a place of great promise, a place where all your dreams could come through. If you only got the opportunity to go to America, if you work hard when you get there, if you take advantage of the vast opportunities that exist there, if you obey the rules and laws that exist there, then surely you can live and enjoy the American dream. This American ideal of equal access, upward mobility, and good quality of life drove scores of Caribbean people to seek educational and employment opportunities in the United States. It was the promise of the American dream that pushed my parents to migrate here, and we decided to make America our new home away from home. But what I quickly observed, however, when I arrived in the United States, is that for so many Americans, especially Black and brown Americans, the American dream was more like an American nightmare. These Americans are challenged daily by racial and social inequities in accessing education, housing, employment. They experience problems with equal pay and wages and endure the crippling health care disparities. The COVID-19 pandemic reminds us of the huge racial gulf with the accessibility to good treatment and health services. The American dream for so many mothers and fathers, sons and daughters is broken. The nation's democracy, unfortunately, has not always lived up to their expectations. America's democracy has not allowed all of its members to live and enjoy their dreams. In 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King made his riveting "I Have a Dream" speech, where he urged the American nation to work together to make it a more racially just and equitable place. King said then, and I quote, "Now is the time to make real the promise of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksand of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. Now," King said, "now is the time to make justice a reality to all of God's children," end quote. Like King, I am dreaming of the day when there's no longer an incarceration rate where blacks are 5 times more likely to be imprisoned than whites nationally, and 12 times more likely to be imprisoned in the state of New Jersey. I am dreaming of the day when black and Latino Americans are not fatally shot at twice the rate of white Americans. I am dreaming. I am dreaming. I'm hoping. I'm envisioning the day when the American dream will be open and freely accessible to all. In the spirit of the African philosophy of Ubuntu, which simply means I am because we are, it is my dream that we will all feel denied and oppressed if some are denied and oppressed. Let me close by reciting a poem from the American poet, novelist, and Harlem Renaissance scholar and thinker, Langston Hughes, in his poem entitled Dreams. Here goes. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. Thank you.